Hey, what's up guys, John Levitrus. Hope you're having a great day today. Wanted to close out the Peru series with this video. We are at the end of this series and unfortunately we have met defeat to our enemies that you have seen in the previous videos. I do want to state the obvious, you're seeing Google Earth right now, and yet again I'm having some hardware issues with some of my videos. So we're going to have to use Google Earth just to close out this series, but it'll be a quick one. Just want to talk about the pitfalls that we ran into, some things we can learn. I know some of you guys have been more successful than I have with Peru. Let's go ahead and talk about it, see what we can learn. We knew from the last video that the whole continent of South America was getting invaded from the north, from Libya, and then India in the south. Basically what ended up happening is if you just do the math, they got closer and closer. They took out all of my allies. They took most of Brazil, most of Argentina, and the other countries. Got right to my borders, not into my homeland actually, but by the time they did that, they got enough points and they won the game. So our coalition did not win the game, obviously. So with that being said, and you saw I had several units in battle in the last video, many other units being defeated. Some things I want to glean from this past series is if you are Peru, I would highly suggest that you just move a little quicker than you would with other nations. If you watch the first video I took Ecuador, which is okay to take because it's only one city, but I would say you need to get more aggressive and take most of Bolivia, take Colombia, all of it, take Venezuela, take some other whole entire country that has a good amount of cities. That might even mean not being in a coalition at first and you being solo, because sometimes what happens with coalitions is yes, you're in a safety net, but also you may end up dividing the spoils of different countries and you won't get all the cities that you need. You have to kind of weigh the pros and cons with being in a coalition. So first thing, yes, you got to move quickly with Peru. It is a great country to start with, I will admit, but you can't sit tight like I did. You got to keep expanding. South America is not the biggest continent compared to all the other continents, so you got to move quickly and get what you can. Another thing is, don't get hung up on one country like I did up here in Cuba. You want to make sure that you have a good navy with Peru, because you're going to have that eventually. Even if you take most of the continent, you're going to need a navy. You're going to need a strong one to expand further into North America, to the Caribbean, and then perhaps if you go across the world. But keep that in mind, guys. The second thing is to have a great navy, destroyers, cruisers, things like that, I would say at the least. I know some of you will even have aircraft carriers and other things like that. At least have a good set of destroyers and cruisers in your arsenal for a navy. And then lastly, I would say is don't spread yourself too thin with the units that you research. I had units researched in almost every category you could think of. I had subs, I had surface vessels, I had infantry, of course, I had different types of armored vehicles, I had artillery, I had the basic artillery. I actually didn't have any anti-air at the moment, which wasn't a good thing. I had air superiority fighters and I had tech helicopters. So it might not sound like a lot to you guys, but when you spread yourself too thin, especially early in the game, what can happen is you're going to be limited with your options. Your economy is going to be suffering, especially if you haven't been expanding more cities and getting more resources. So those are the three things I want to leave you guys with. This will be a quick video. Expand quickly, have a good navy, and don't spread yourself too thin with the research. Focus on a few things. Keep that be your core, whether that's going to be infantry, armored, and anti-air stack, or something like that. Have some kind of core, and then once that is good to go and you have a good amount, then I would move on to the next thing. It's been a good series. I do have one coming out soon, and I hope that you guys will enjoy it. It will be in the continent of Africa. Appreciate your guys' support. Please like and subscribe to the channel for more content. So sorry I couldn't have Conflict of Nations on the screen today. Working on upgrading the hardware and just making sure that things are good for us, so every time you guys see a video from me, it is Conflict of Nations and not Google Earth. Alright, I'll talk to you guys next time.